Hello, welcome to Kaleidoscope. My name is Ruby Raylio, and today I am joined with Luigi again from episode one. That's what he looks like, and my good old friend Tom from the early days of
Hey,
China. Thomas Monroe. Thank you. Do you want to give
hey,
yourself an
pleasure.
introduction?
Yes.
Ruby and I used to work together back in the days of yore, when we were both up in Tianjin. I believe we're both still working in education. Our paths have taken us different ways now. Great to see you again. It's been a
Same.
long, long time.
It has. In July, I will make an effort to go to Guangzhou.
Yeah, sure. Um, I'm currently filming this on our balcony. Guangzhou is famous for hot and humid weather, and it's just broken out into rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah,
And the wind is insane.
I'm also joined by a pair of cats that you may notice.
Name
This is Taco.
Taco.
Mwah.
Okay. And the other one? How many cats, Tom?
Two. I've got Taco Bell and BP.
What's BP stand for?
British Petroleum.
Big pussy.
Fair enough. I liked British Petroleum. It was PC, you know?
Just means big cat. That's all I meant.
Yeah, sure.
Big
Yeah,
cat.
that's fine.
Yeah.
I have no problem
bad
with
as
big
fuck.
pussy. Okay?
Take from it what you will.
Yeah.
Sure.
Luigi.
Wait, I have a question real quick. You guys said you used to
Yeah.
work in education. Who's changed working
No, he
in
said I
education?
think. He said I
Oh,
think.
you think. Tom, you're still in education.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I teach down here nowadays.
Yeah, fair enough.
Also IB.
Yeah. I work in an IB school.
Really? Ah.
So in our
Yeah.
first
Pretty dope.
in the first episode we kind of went into slandering IB in general.
I didn't.
as a
Nope.
system.
Not me. Nope.
I don't want this to be like found footage many years later when I apply for a new job. So I'm gonna be in full support of IB curriculum.
Yeah, it's a great curriculum. Everybody has it. Everything has its flaws. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, sure thing.
Would you like a self-introduction from me?
Yeah. He
Okay.
doesn't know you.
Oh, man. Well, I'm a teacher too, dude. That's it. I'm from Canada.
Oh, cool.
Ruby says you're a self-proclaimed troll. I guess.
I mean,
Well, what is that about? Explain to me.
just because it's incredibly easy and funny to make Redditors very angry.
Ah, okay. Fair. Yeah.
Because I enjoy using Reddit, but at the same time, I recognize it's like a massive hive mind, especially when like you subdivide into like different subreddits, and like it's a group of people who all think exactly the same way come together.
Yes.
But you could just like walk in there, like say something provocative, and they will all take it very seriously. Like keep sending you messages for like weeks about like how wrong you are.
Yeah.
is funny.
Sure. It's a good point. It's an interesting dynamic.
Who's your number one target on Reddit?
It's your favorite thing to talk
I
about.
quite like a trick I like to do is with British people, and then you know how like back in 1066 the Normans came to invade England.
No, I don't.
I don't, but okay, go ahead.
Okay, British people know this, and then you just say, well, actually, the Normans were French, which is historically debatable. But then it just makes all the British people really, really angry if you say that the French people conquered us. And I just find it funny.
Okay, so it's like basically it's a French-English feud. It's the reason the
Yeah,
French hate
I
the
mean,
English and the English hate the French.
That would be one example of things I've done many times. But obviously, with political stuff that goes on, Reddit is very, very easy to rile up because you just need to say something that's like slightly not politically correct or counter to the subreddits where you are, and even if it's like a somewhat salient point, it doesn't have to be. Even if it is, people will get enraged.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And
Okay.
I find it funny, but also a little bit sad that you can't have open communication between people of different viewpoints nowadays.
Well, that's what this is.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna have to share your viewpoints.
You don't have to agree with us.
Yeah.
Like we'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sure. Fair enough. Why don't you kick us off since we've both been on the podcast before?
Okay, sure. So the prompt you gave me was like extremely broad. It's like come in with a viewpoint or perspective,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which could be just about anything. So Recently, my wife and I came back from vacation in Malaysia. It's a beautiful country. But my statement would be social media ruins vacations. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
You go on stuff like Xiaohongshu, which in English is Red Note, or Instagram or TikTok, and you'll constantly see like amazing like photos and videos of this place you want to go to, but just make it look fantastic and wonderful and beautiful. And then naturally, when you go there in real life and you can't recreate that exact perfect experience, you feel let down. And you put like that place on a pedestal and you're like, oh well, mine wasn't as good as that person, therefore I've been ripped off, I've been scammed, I feel disappointed.
Right.
And this has happened to us like a couple of times, and now I've just like stopped caring about anything else, like other people's photos. I've stopped using all those apps. I barely even post myself when I go on vacation nowadays.
Yeah.
For example, one specific example would be we went on a boat tour from Langkawi Island. And if you are very lucky, you might see dolphins or even a whale. On that day, we didn't see anything.
Yeah.
The wife was just like furious. Like, oh, you know, we got scammed, we got ripped off, the driver is lazy, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, whoa, calm down. It was a lovely boat ride. We saw monkeys, we saw eagles, we saw fish. Like the sun was shining, we got to go swimming. And it was a really enjoyable day. But if you just focus on like social media, then you'll always be disappointed.
That's completely the opposite of what I expected you were going to say.
Really?
Yeah, I thought you were going to say social media destroys holidays because all you want to do is like people go onto social media just to
Take pictures.
to browse or to take pictures, and it disrupts the holiday, the flow of the holiday. But
Yeah.
your perspective is
That too, that's also a thing. Like,
yeah, but that's a way less interesting thing.
if you become obsessed with like having to say like perfect photos of every dish you eat and like making it look perfect, and then like curating your posts and like photoshopping stuff so you'll get like the maximum amount of likes, then that also sucks.
Yeah.
Like you should just chill out, live in the real world.
I think it depends. I think it depends on the person. I think you're just that person, Tom. You're just that kind of person who that will ruin your life. Whereas you have people who are, I'll say, can I say, unhinged, who just want to take pictures of everything.
Unhinged?
They want people. They want. Sometimes I feel like people want like the draw of social media and documenting your life is a kind of existential crisis where life is so mundane and that bothers people. So they have to take a picture to prove to others, even to prove to themselves that life is, you know, worthwhile and interesting. So there's that dynamic, which I think that's true. I think if a person feels like they're kind of like, if it kind of feels like work to take a picture, it kind of causes like a little bit of anxiety, I think then potentially
Sure.
they probably feel that way. They're trying to like validate their existence. But then there's the other people who are, you know, influencers, and their whole life is they got to take pictures of everything, and it empowers them.
I think we should just get rid of them.
What's that?
Like, be gone with the influencers.
No,
we
I
don't
want to
need
be an influencer. Like,
It's
No.
a relevant market, Tom.
God, it just sucks though.
Was
Like,
that
be a
envy?
teacher,
Is that envy
values
talking?
the earth.
I don't know. No, I mean, why do you not like that's another question. Why don't you like influencers? I can say I don't like influencers
also-
because I'm envious.
It takes the magic out of traveling, right?
Yeah.
Like you go to a new place and vacations are expensive, so naturally you want to optimize everything, like make it perfect. Like, oh, on this day we've got a schedule where we have to go to like these places and take photos of this spot to look like that person. We must go to this restaurant because it's trending, and there's like no wonder, no exploration anymore. Like,
Yes.
even though I'm 31 years old, we actually stayed in a youth hostel, but when we get there, like everyone is just playing on their phones.
Okay.
And you don't actually talk to anyone anymore. Because like as soon as you go to Malaysia, you can get like a week-long unlimited data SIM cards for like $2.
Oh, that's cool.
So there's like no pressure on you anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's just like being in China, but with just different scenery, you know? Because if you just like continue to be online all the time, it sucks.
Yeah.
Why are you traveling? What's the point?
So then my question then is, there's the people on their phones documenting everything, and 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 then like when I hear that, I think, is that just one dynamic of tourism? Let's say phones and Instagram or whatever social media didn't exist. There would still be those groups of people going to the tourist spots. And then there's the other kind of person who doesn't want to go to tourist spots. Like me personally, I don't like the draw of going to tourist spots and taking pictures of myself
Sure.
beside, a landmark. I don't think it matters. You might want, I guess in the past people took it because photos really had a kind of like relevance you could share with people. They were like totems, people, they had them and then they brought them out to show people. They weren't so accessible. So there was this more kind of like, I don't know, let's say magic behind them. But now it's so instantaneous with pictures. And now it's kind of like, I'm the in-group. I'm part of the in-group. Look, I also went, the Leaning Tower Pizza, I did this. Oh, look, I'm pushing it. But
Yes.
even before that, everyone did it. They just didn't have, a little phone, a little computer in their hand to show it instantaneously.
Yeah.
Um,
So I invested in an old camera,
Yeah.
like an old film camera. It's an Olympus Mewtwo, like the Pokemon Mewtwo.
yeah,
And I get like a set number of photos, depends how much film I bring with me on vacation. And then if I want to get them processed, I need to send them off to like some guy. It takes 2 weeks and I get them back and I can put them in a photo album.
yeah.
And that is my totem. And it's not for like sharing with everyone on the internet. It's maybe for like me and my family,
Yeah, it's a lot more stakes when you do that old kind of media, when you have a camera with film. Yeah,
but
I also have an Olympus.
I do it my way because it feels like it has a lot more meaning,
Yes.
and it's a lot more intimate and it's a lot more cool.
I think that,
Basically, it's nostalgic, right?
Yeah.
It adds to the nostalgia of it.
I think there's nostalgia behind that, but I think also, again, like I said, there's so much, there's more stakes behind wasting film and really thinking about the composition. If you're going to document something,
Right.
whereas
Yes.
with phones, you just
It's
click,
expensive.
click. So many pictures can be taken,
Yeah.
and it kind of cheapens the experience.
No, I
It's
agree with you on that.
it's expensive and you can't check it after you take a photo. So
Yeah.
you might like send the film off 2 weeks later, you get it back and like, oh, that one turns out like crap. Oh no. Like that one just has like a massive glare in the lens, so you can't see anything.
And that's how ghosts were discovered.
Yeah.
So we get all the ghosts in pictures. Nobody thought about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I would definitely say travel is inundated by everybody taking a picture on their phone. It's kind of unsettling.
I think maybe the idea of having film cameras or having digital cameras and just being able to take 1,000 photos has escalated that problem for sure. Because now
Yeah.
you
I
can
mean-
take a photo everywhere, and you can take 1,000 photos everywhere.
Well, why do
You don't have to think about which one you want.
Right, but then the other question is, why this urge to have to take a picture of everything? I hate taking photos, let me just say, but I feel I have to do it, and then I always catch myself. Like I was driving to an island last weekend, and the scenery, the water was so beautiful while I was driving on the bridge, and I thought, oh, I need to take a picture with my phone. I need to get this, but there's your perception beyond the camera is totally different. You can never really catch what you're viewing from the camera phone. It's not the same. But then it also takes you away from just being present and just having that memory yourself. Why do I really need to show it? Do I really want to take a picture of this to remember it? Or to show it to people that I care about? Or to somehow validate myself to the rest of the world? Like, look what I have. I have this I'm part of this, I don't know, charmed circle. Look what I've experienced.
Yeah, people just want
Special.
they want the clout, right?
Yeah,
like-
okay, they call it clout, yeah. Yes.
You post something that none of your friends have posted before because you went on vacation somewhere cool, and then you get all the likes, and then you feel special, and you get the endorphin rush, like all the serotonin or whatever goes to your brain,
Dopamine.
and then it feels
That's
good
the
for a
one.
moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you should have the serotonin in the moment instead of stressing about like getting a good social media post. You should just sit back and enjoy the boat ride, like
Yes.
as you're like sort of cruising along by the beach,
Exactly that.
and like revel in it, because that's a unique experience you probably won't experience again for at least one more year or a while anyway.
I mean, I completely agree with your observations, both of yours, but my perspective is a little bit different because I have been posting more online lately than before,
Yeah.
but I'm not posting photos. And
Uh-huh.
it's I'm kind of harking back to the idea of blogging and sharing thoughts and feelings and
Yeah.
having that's what this podcast is as well, right? It perspectives beyond the surface, not just what you see in a picture or what you did today or how you're cooler than everybody else. I honestly I don't give a fuck. What I want to know is you. Yeah, I'd rather yeah. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, blogging is really a form of like journalism
Yes.
in a way, and
Yeah, I would agree.
I'm okay with that. I could respect that.
Yeah, it doesn't drain or take away from your experiences. And if like I'm completely down for someone going instead of going on Instagram like 3 posts a day on like this cool picture, this cool picture, this cool picture. I can respect that, but I know that you went and you sat on Photoshop and you edited this photo for X amount of time and then you posted it on Instagram and you're pretending like your life is great when it might not be. Like, hopefully it is. I don't wish ill on you, but what would be cooler is if you incorporated that photo into a longer form media and then told us about your holiday. Like,
Yeah. So
You think the blog will come back?
no way. It's not going to come back. It's not going to come back. Like, I'm
Let it go.
realistic.
It's a nice sentiment. I want blogs to come back.
Yeah.
But I don't want to take
You
pictures of
used to
myself.
be a blogger.
Yeah, I did. I used to be a blogger. And so, I don't want to take pictures of myself. I don't think I'm as nearly as like photo worthy as all the other, cauliflower headed children who are influencers now. And that sucks for me, but when I wrote, boy did I have a voice. I loved it. But nobody reads. Then I'm gonna sound like an old person. Nobody reads anymore.
I don't begrudge influencers their influence. I don't begrudge them their sphere and their the things that they do. I think it's cool. I
Yeah.
respect it. But I think that the way that social media, short form videos and stuff like that is taken over.
Yeah, that's the thing now.
Yeah.
You've got to take like 1 minute clips from this with like all the jokes in it and make a YouTube short so that people will come and watch this one.
I'm doing that. And you know what? My shorts suck because they're not like the engagement on the shorts.
Not short enough.
They're not short enough. Yeah. And I'm like, it's 30 seconds. What the fuck more do you want? Like,
Yeah.
how do I? It's 30 seconds of somebody literally pouring their heart out into a fucking wine glass.
Yeah.
And you're not interested.
So, okay. With that in mind, you guys obviously travel more than me.
Sure.
How often would you say you see?
Much more than me, by the way.
Okay.
I don't travel that much.
How often would you say, like, what's the kind of tourist, the kind of social media tourist you see? Just photo taking, or are they creating, content for views? The sad thing I think is okay, go ahead.
One of the best things about being a teacher is the long vacations. I work in an international school, so I get like about 3 months of vacation a year.
Yeah.
So we go on quite a few vacations. And one place that hurt me the most out of anywhere was Japan. Because
I heard it's getting bad.
Because growing up when I was a kid, I watched anime. And I put Japan on this pedestal. I was like, oh, it's going to be this amazing, wonderful place where everything will be awesome and cool and fun and every moment will be excitement.
Yes.
And, for like the ease of our first time going in, we went to Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka, which are like the 3 most touristy places in the entire nation.
Yeah.
And we went in like July, which was like peak season. So everywhere we were going, we were battling with crowds.
Yeah.
And also having lived in China for a long time, that sort of corrupted my innocence, you know. It's like, oh, they have Buddhist temples with big Buddhas. Well, I've already seen all those in China. They have noodles and dumplings. Well, we have noodles and dumplings. Oh, they have onsen. We have wenchuan. So like lots of the stuff wasn't unique and fresh as I wanted it to be. And then every single place we were going was just jam-packed full of tourists, all doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
And I sort of got there and I was just like standing around like, why are we here? Like, what are we doing? Like, why did 1,000 people come to this street corner? And I could not like fathom like what we were actually doing with our time. It's like I paid so much money to come here, and it's a street corner with some billboards.
Right. You got
And
duped.
like all the magic just sort of drained out of it. And that's when I started becoming more and more cynical about tourism.
Poor Tom, he's grown up. He's grown up.
One of the things that I've always wanted for myself is to never get on a tour bus. That's like one of the rules.
I think now
Sure.
I want to get on a tour bus
Right.
because I've said it for so long. Now I'm thinking maybe
No,
I should just go on a tour bus.
You will be disappointed.
See
You
what
will
happens.
be disappointed.
Depends on the tour guide and where they take you.
The only tour bus I want to get on is one that stops at vineyards.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea.
Oh, yeah,
Can it be a craft
I can
brewery?
manage that.
It can be both.
Anywhere where I can get drunk.
Agreed.
Yeah.
How much of the I'm trying to articulate this. How much of the fact that social media destroys holidays is a product of wrongful media portrayal? Or
Oh, that can I interject?
Well, sure.
Okay,
Go ahead.
I think there's two dynamics to that. So there is the person who feels that they must document themselves in their vacation or else it is a waste. And then there are the people who are also in the area of the vacationer getting in the way. So like which one are you? Why are you sad about that? Are you sad because my photos aren't great?
now
Or are
we
you
have
sad
two
because
questions.
all these people are taking pictures of themselves?
Like, are you an NPC?
No, I think it's just like it's like people who are doing that like chasing the dragon, you know, they're addicts.
Yeah.
It's a social media
Yeah,
addiction.
I think
And
there's some truth to that.
it's all about like pride and arrogance and like trying to show you are the best or you've had the best experience, you are the most unique person out of all the people in your like contact list. And it's like, no, just chill out. And, like just live in the moment, like be that meme, nobody on their phone, live in the moment.
Yeah.
And it's actually a good point. Like that's really what you should be doing. On my flight back, we were sitting behind a couple who went to the same place as on Langkawi Island, and they had got engaged. And the entire flight, this girl in front of me was just photoshopping all of her engagement photos to make her like boobs look slightly bigger and like take away like slight like facial like
Damn.
wrinkles and stuff like that. And I'm like, wasn't it a happy moment anyway? Like, do you really need to give yourself an extra cup size for your engagement photos to make it a more valuable experience?
Well, I mean, the obvious answer is no, but who knows why she was doing it.
Yes, it is because she's going to post it like
she wants
on
some
her Instagram
photos are
and let
uncensored.
all her friends have a look.
Here's what I think. I think I understand I understand the desire for a larger cup size. Okay.
Well, we're gonna have to. It has
Sure.
nothing to do with cup sizes. It's got to do with the photo being unflattering. That's what it is. This person, everybody wants a good photo, so you know they have to Photoshop their photos until they're satisfied with because people are worried I'm gonna look ugly. That's it.
Well, I think if you post something real, then real friends will like it. If you post something fake, then fake friends will like
Yeah,
it.
but you know what, Tom? If you post something
Okay.
real, it'll be real ugly. That's the problem.
Like,
I post real ugly photos of me. I don't mind.
maybe we should.
You have more self-confidence.
Like, the more
You're
pertinent
comfortable.
question is how much Photoshop is too much? Because, like, color saturation, sure, right? Why not?
I think
Okay.
people just don't know photography and they don't know the rules, and this is again because of
I think
phones today. It's just so instant. They just
It's so
take a
easy.
picture. Oh, I'll fix it after. Instead of thinking about, like, Tom got his Olympus, and he really has to think about his composition. You gotta know photo theory. You gotta know rule of thirds. You gotta know all that stuff.
So
Take a good
Mhm.
for
photo.
me, like, I walked into a fucking pole a couple of months ago.
Okay.
Okay, and I had this scar on my leg for
Yeah.
a long time, and every time I took a photo, I edited out that scar.
Sure.
Personally, I don't think that's too bad, but I didn't change the shape of my body, right? And I think once you start changing the shape of things, maybe that's questionable.
Is another topic that we've diverged off of.
Yeah, we need to.
Tourism.
We do need to move on to the next.
We're bad at that.
We'll
So
let
it
you
depends
answer.
on what type of scar it is. If the scar has a cool story, I think you should keep it.
Oh yeah.
Like, were you
Okay.
bitten by a
Like a
shark,
lightning
or
bolt.
Here's the
You
story
cast
I will
magic.
tell you. I was walking my dog at night, and there's this stupid water piece of concrete sticking out of the ground. It's like a water marker thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I walked into it, and it scraped off. I still have the scar. It's there. That's it. Can you see it? I don't know.
that is
It
out
looks like
of
a
frame?
bruise.
Well, it's much better now, but it was really dark, and it was much bigger. So I just took it off.
I have no boo-boos.
Okay.
I'm too afraid to live.
It's not a cool story, and it looked bad, and I just took it off.
Okay, fair enough. I have one of my buddies. He's got like a giant scar like on his shoulder, and like it goes up to his like neck. He is also a teacher, and he just tells kids like whenever they ask, like, "Oh, I was attacked by a bear." He's Russian, so people believe him.
Believable. I would believe it.
I think that mine is a good follow up on social media destroys holidays because it's more about holidays and pleasure. I always hear about people saying it's before this time you can't drink yet, and I just think it's bullshit. I think that you should be allowed to drink whenever the fuck you want, but keep it classy. That's it.
It's a really easy question to answer. Yes, drink whenever you want. Oh, but then again, maybe not.
Your qualifier is keep it classy. Is it possible to be a classy drinker at 9 a.m.?
Yes.
What does a 9 a.m. drink look like to you?
A 9 a.m. drink looks like breakfast with orange juice and like a beer shandy with orange juice.
Ah, I see. Or the
Or champagne with orange juice.
Isn't that good? What's that called? A samosa?
Yeah,
Is it a samosa?
exactly.
That's
Like that's what I grew
Mimosa.
up with. I grew up with this ability to drink at any time of the day with a few caveats, right? You're not gonna open a bottle of rum in the morning. Well, you might if you're in the Caribbean, but not when you're at home, right?
Okay.
But if you're making breakfast for your loved one and you make a samosa and you eggs and bacon, why not?
Mimosa.
Mimosa.
Samosa is an Indian snack that looks like a triangle.
Well,
Thank you, Tom.
I apologize, world. I am culturally insensitive. That's why I asked. Mimosa, thank you. I knew, in my mind, I knew it was going to be one of those things. I was like, is it the little Indian triangle stuff with... My bad. Mea culpa.
You know what I hate with a passion? Brunch. Like the concept of brunch. And like every restaurant, like every Western restaurant in Guangzhou, like advertises like, "Oh, come to brunch and you can like buy breakfast and get mimosas."
Do they know
I'm
what
like,
brunch is?
this
Is
is
my
the-
question.
This is a farce that was like invented by alcoholic housewives as an excuse to day drink and pretend it's classy.
Yes.
You know,
Thank
it's
you,
like
Tom.
My favorite kind of housewife.
on the weekends I could kind of understand it, but if you're drinking in the middle of the day on like a weekday, it's because you're bored and don't have a job.
I think that answers the question of when you can drink, though. Brunch.
Oh, obviously, you're not going to be drinking at work or before work.
Whatever takes
I
the
mean,
edge
some
off.
teachers do.
Well, they're
Well, they
bad.
shouldn't.
They're
We know
bad
some.
teachers, Tom.
Naming no
Shame
names.
on them.
I think that drinking at work after duties, that's fine. I also think going home once all your duties are done should be fine.
I like to.
I don't like if somebody's drinking before class or during class or before a meeting or like you should probably not be doing that.
Yeah.
That's a fucking dumb idea.
Do you draw a line between having a drink and getting drunk?
Absolutely.
Do you think they are different?
Yes, definitely. Like
Yeah, so do you
You
think
know me, I almost never get completely plastered drunk.
uh
So that's my definition of classy. Like you're never getting wasted or tipsy beyond reason. And my reason is like maybe two mimosas or a glass of sangria for brunch or breakfast, and then something at lunch, and then at night, if you really want to get plastered, that's a nighttime thing. Or maybe a
sure.
Saturday afternoon. Yeah, after 12. Like, no need to wait for 5 or 6 or 1 or just 12.
I mean, objectively, I can't say when the right time to drink is. I can make the argument that brunch defines the right time to drink. Okay, brunch is, because you missed breakfast, you combine breakfast and lunch with the same kind of, dishes. And someone somewhere introduced the samosa? Mimosa! The mimosa, sorry.
Right.
They introduced the mimosa into brunch. Or it somehow became associated with that. So I think, at least in the Americas, maybe, culturally, the opportune time, or the most inappropriate time to start drinking is not before brunch time. But then there's also the saying, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, and those raging alcoholics just drink whenever.
I think that if you are an alcoholic, you shouldn't be drinking.
Well, yeah.
Well, yes.
That's by definition not classy.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so it's about what's classy.
Yeah.
Can you say, drink whenever you want? Whenever you feel like having a drink, have a drink. Is that classy? Unless you're an alcoholic?
Yes, unless you're driving.
I can say I've drank a beer in the morning in my life at times. But I've just like woken up and I felt like it because it was very, very hot and I just was thirsty and that carbonation just felt like a good idea. So I drank a beer.
I draw no distinction between going for brunch and having mimosas at 10 a.m. and going to 7-Eleven and buying a couple of sojus to drink on the street corner at 10 a.m. Those are the same activity, but one has class privilege.
Okay. Fair, but man, that just sounds sad. 10 a.m. at a Family Mart getting a soju.
3 bottles of soju.
For me, soju's just putrid. That's why I think it's not good.
Okay, wait.
One, soju is the most economically viable way to have a drink, I think, and it's delicious.
You have to define how.
Alcohol, the amount of alcohol that is in a bottle of soju, and that's 20% alcohol
It's not that bad.
compared to
Okay.
one mimosa.
I don't know what stuff is like where you live, but around here you get free flow mimosas for like 4 hours,
Wow.
and that is like that adds up.
That sounds like a
Like
party.
they don't
My
taste
God,
strong,
yeah,
but
that is not
I feel like-
classy.
I want to go there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I
some
do.
people might argue with that.
Okay, now we have to define something else. Like, why do you drink? Why is the person at 10 a.m. getting a soju? Okay, because in my mind, there's bad alcohol and there's good alcohol. Personally, I like when I drink things, I like to enjoy them. That's why I like craft beers and hipster crap like that.
I feel the same.
So, like, when I drink something, it's not just, I gotta drink it fast. I gotta feel that buzz. I want to enjoy it because I know it's poison and I know it's gonna make me feel putrid if I drink too much of it too fast. So, who are these people getting soju at 10 a.m. on a street corner?
You're looking at it.
Tom. So, Tom, why are you doing that? You felt like, so
No,
out of energy, it would.
Honestly, the only time I've ever like got soju was like late at night when Matt Ward said we had to like walk to a bar that was like an hour away. Ruby was there too, I believe, and we'd have to like go traipsing through Tianjin in the middle of the night.
I remember those nights, and I remember Matt Ward, and he would literally do that. And Matt's a funny character because he would be like, we'd all be at a party having a good time. I should get him on this podcast.
Yeah, do it.
We'd all be at a party having a good time. He'd be like, yeah, this is amazing. We're going to party until 10 a.m. And then 2 minutes later, he's like, okay, bye. And he'd say
Yeah.
bye to one person and then just leave and not speak
Yeah,
to
just
anyone.
bounce.
What do you call that kind of goodbye? It's not an Irish goodbye. That's when you say goodbye to nobody. You just leave. What's when you
It's a
say?
Matt Ward's goodbye.
Yeah, it's unique. It's completely unique.
Tell everyone else for me. I gotta go.
Oh, he didn't say that. He just if he happened to bump, it would be an if the way to the door parted like the Red Sea, it would be an Irish goodbye. But if he bumped into you, it'd be like goodbye.
Okay.
Matt Wars once made a board game. I believe it was like a version of Monopoly where one of the cards you could draw was like, put down your drink and go home. It's like the game just like literally sent you home and that was it.
This is good out for that guy.
And he was trying to convince all of us this would be an amazing game to play and be so funny.
Because they kept talking about this. He kept talking about this game because they played it at his cottage in Canada. He's Canadian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And there was one of them was eat a teaspoon of mustard.
That sounds good, actually.
Oh yeah. Stuff like that.
Teaspoon of Dijon.
That's not bad. That's
Have
great.
you ever had a full teaspoon of mustard?
Yeah, I feel like I have.
Don't.
I could do it.
No,
I
it's not
love
fun.
mustard.
It's really not fun.
Challenge accepted.
Do you have mustard?
I do. We'll do it later. We're not doing it on the podcast.
Okay, at the end. At the end.
Oh, you want me to? Okay.
Tom's gonna want to see it.
All right. I can do that. Oh, I love mustard. But mine's like the super yellow French's mustard.
That's what it should be. I think it doesn't matter. It's just mustard.
Happen, baby. Oh, I love mustard so much. Anyway. Okay, back on booze.
Anyway.
folks.
Honestly, I really don't drink that much anymore. Back in Tianjin, we were a group of degenerates who used to like constantly drink almost every night.
Speak for yourself.
The last time I got really drunk was at Christmas, which is difficult to do because like you just start drinking and then you're like, oh, I have about like 4 ovens going full of like turkeys and hams and potatoes, and I still need to like cook dinner for 10 people while I'm absolutely smashed now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a bit of a tangent.
Tianjin.
Yeah, it's feeling weird. Can I say that's the right word, right? Yeah.
Tangent.
Tangent.
Tangent
Tangent.
and
Tangent, not tangent. Okay, tangent. The best yeah. Best Christmas party I remember in memory for me is the one that you organized with your bed and
We had the
breakfast.
Airbnb.
in Tianjin.
You made lamb chops.
I made lamb chops and malva pudding.
Yes, yeah, that malva pudding. I never had it before. It was awesome.
Yeah, it would be amazing to have another.
And the Airbnb for some reason has a sauna. So like 1 a.m. all of it is like stripped down and gone for sauna together.
Have that photo.
Yeah.
Skip to today, and I cannot join you.
Wait, you've never been in a sauna
European style.
with other genders?
Yeah.
I have never
Free the
been in a
nipple,
sauna
Ruby.
with other genders.
Oh. I have. I can say I have.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
I have, but not multiple, with one opposite.
Okay. Yeah.
Have you been in a sauna with multiple?
I can't say I have.
Because that's a different story.
Do lesbians count?
Yes.
Okay, then yes. Yes, I can. Back on booze. What are we talking?
What's your favorite drink?
Oh,
My favorite drink is probably black beer, like Guinness.
so stout.
Yeah, stout.
Okay. I used to love.
And when we were at university, we used to do something very cool, which was pint half cider, half stout. And then together it's like called snake bite, I think. It's really good.
So a stout's on top of another kind of beer in the same glass.
Cider, apple cider.
So the cider
like-
is somehow denser. It stays at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. Huh. Surprised I
Yeah,
never.
it's alcoholic cider. I don't know. Americans always have like the non-alcoholic version.
I didn't know that
I did-
non-alcoholic ciders were a thing.
Yeah, I didn't. What Americans are you talking to, Tom?
No, I'm pretty sure in America, apple cider is like just like
Oh.
cloudy apple juice.
You're right. There is apple cider, but then there are ciders, which are alcoholic drinks. Pretty
Yeah,
common.
but then apple cider
And
is
also
not
made of
cider.
apples.
Yeah, that's apple juice. That's dirty apple juice.
I would agree that apple cider is dirty apple juice.
Unfiltered, maybe, not dirty.
Cloudy. Yeah.
Because the first beer. Okay, Tom, I have a question. Why aren't you drinking alcohol right now? Why did you go for Coke Zero?
Because I'm kind of fat now.
Uh-huh.
You haven't seen me for many years. I weigh like 90 kilograms now.
Okay.
That just means you're married, Tom. Just means you're married.
I like to drink in social settings. I guess I am talking to people, but you're not really here in real life.
Yep.
So I only drink when I'm like sort of surrounded by people and I can pace myself with them.
Yeah.
I stopped drinking. Like, I calculated at one stage when we were in Tianjin, there's a craft brewery.
Okay.
Underneath. I stayed in the
We
dingiest part.
probably.
Yeah, I stayed in the dingiest part of Tianjin, this building called Chungji Center. Didn't meet any of the safety codes. It was a disaster, but the apartment was amazing, actually, even though it didn't have many windows. And every night we would go downstairs, have a wee burger or an Elvis burger, and
It was so unhealthy.
oh yeah, and drink like 2 to 3 liters of beer a day.
Good Lord.
You know, in Tianjin, we did not make a lot of money.
Yeah,
And we were going to spend like 100 or 200 kwai every night on beer and burgers.
exactly.
But like now I'm old. Now I'm getting fat. Even though I'm trying to be healthy, it's really difficult.
It's really hard. I've since June last year or July, when the holiday started, up to now, I lost 26 kilograms. And it's been one of the hardest
Good job.
things. The only reason that I was able to stick to that is because I wanted to transition.
I tried the intermittent fasting last year, and I got about 2 months in, and I was losing about 5 kilograms a month. I was really happy with it.
Yeah.
That's really fast, yeah.
But then we hit Christmas, and I'm like, oh, Christmas. Well, obviously I've got to eat for Christmas. There's going to be like chocolates all everywhere. It'll be fun. And then I could just not get back into it again.
Shame. Why not? Why couldn't you get back into it? What makes intermittent fasting difficult now?
So the first week is the most difficult because during the first week, your stomach shrinks.
Okay.
After 1 week, you have like the routine set up, and it actually became physically difficult for me to eat dinner. Like I tried to eat more than a couple of bites for dinner. I'd be like, whoa, I'm stuffed.
Okay.
I can't eat anymore. But it's like the first week you constantly feel hungry.
Yeah. Right.
And if I have like a little bit of stress, like, oh, I need to write some reports. Oh, I need to like do a project. Oh, I need to like do something else.
Yeah.
Then I will eat.
Yeah, I see that a lot in the adults around us. Just always eating, always snacking.
Which
It's
adult
stressful.
specifically?
I'm not gonna name names.
Around
You know
ballpark.
where I am.
For clarity, he's in MYP and I'm in PYP. Next year,
I'm upstairs. He's downstairs.
yeah, next year he might come back downstairs.
Who can say?
But if I'm around, I'll probably go
around.
to grade 5, yeah, which is upstairs.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm teaching K3, so like upper kindergarten.
Okay.
I used to teach grade 2, but because of our student numbers basically plummeting
Yeah.
recently, they had to like move the teachers around. I got stuck in early years. At first, I really didn't like it, but it's a bit of a golden goose.
Yeah.
It's so incredibly easy.
I was gonna say, whoa.
I love it. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say, stuck in early years. I love early years. That was my best. Still to this day, the job I loved the most.
I might go
Early
back
years.
to kindergarten after this job, maybe.
Like it's more difficult to plan the classes, like prepare for them, because you need lots of materials. So you have to be like really on top of like your ordering and your budget, because you have to like set up stations and make it look really nice and create learning invitations. But like once you're in there and you're just sort of like, okay, I'm going to teach you how to do your 2 times table and stuff like that. Okay, this is how you use a full stop and a big letter. And then like the kids are a lot of fun and you play games most of the time. It's just really, really nice.
And you can see them grow, right?
Yeah, you can definitely
Yeah,
see, depending
dramatically.
depending on how well you do your job, you can definitely see them learning. It's one thing I
Mm,
remember.
mm, mm, mm.
It's just the routine. Routine is most important. And that's what makes it so
Oh,
great.
yeah.
It's just so clear on what needs to be done, so it's not very stressful in that respect. You just stick to those routines. You get hugs, you give high fives, teach them the letters of the alphabet.
Have you
It's amazing.
I want to
Yeah.
bring this back to the topic.
Okay.
Have you ever drank at
Okay.
work when you were not supposed to?
I haven't. I can honestly say I haven't.
Do you say get drunk at a party?
I said, have a drink at work when you were not
Oh,
supposed
at
to.
work. I don't think I'll get in trouble about saying this, but like back in Tianjin, when we used to work for a training center, and due to the unique way they managed the schedules, they would invite us in for admin days
Mm.
where there were no students there, but we had to show up to work anyway. And then like there would be it starts off with one or two of us sneaking off to have a drink at lunchtime and ends up with like almost the entire foreign teaching staff just in a bar above the school.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Well, that sounds like it's the school's
Yeah.
fault
Yeah, exactly.
for making that temptation.
For me, it was so a school I worked at on Fridays. The kids would go home really early, and you had to stay until 4:30.
Yeah.
And once there was a Friday meeting. Once the meeting was over, I would walk over to Family Mart and get myself a drink and pour it in my coffee and walk back.
Oh my goodness.
Again, no students there. And then the other one was while I was in Tianjin working for a training center, recruiting teachers. I was the HR
Yeah.
recruiter. And I was working on Sundays.
My
And
God,
there
that's
would be
it.
nobody in the office. It's head office. And I would always schedule my meetings would finish in the morning because if like all the interviews, then I'd rush through all my admin, be done, and then lunch would hit. And I would walk down, go to this like Korean restaurant, drink 2 beers, and then go back. Oh, Tom,
Hello.
are you there?
No. Oh no.
Tom's gone.
Oh no!
Okay, that's what he's been seeing all the time.
He's been seeing us.
This one here.
Oh no. The apartment's a mess.
What? No, it's just a table. It doesn't matter.
Is he coming back?
Sure.
I have questions about
And we haven't even gotten to
drinking.
our topic yet.
Surprise topic.
This is going well. It's good.
Let's text the group. Let's see. Yep. You mean to drink? Yeah.
Oh,
Don't be like Sour Patch Kids.
yeah, thank you. I just need something.
That's my stash. The last of my stash I brought over.
You're back. Are you back?
Can you hear me?
I can hear
Can you
but
see me?
we cannot see you.
The disembodied.
I cannot hear or see you.
Okay. We can hear you, but we cannot see you.
Oh,
Let me try this.
man.
Tom, can you see me now?
Can you see me?
Tommy, can you see me?
I can totally eat a full spoon of mustard. That is not kid stuff. No problem.
That's good. Let me.
Okay, I can see your profile picture.
Okay, this one got fucked up again. Okay, can you see us now? Okay, not here. I'm gonna delete this. Remove. Yes. And then new one. Tom, can you see us?
It switched.
Yeah, it's just in a way.
The old switcheroo.
Hmm. Still nothing.
Well, you know, worst case scenario, we got an hour at least.
We got an hour at least, yeah. But there's another thing we can try.
Oh, I can hear something.
You can hear us?
Yeah.
What? Amazing.
You made a noise.
Can you hear me? Well, Oh, oh my God. You're here.
I can hear you, but I can't see you. Oh, I can see you.
Okay. So it's an internet connection problem, it seems like. Now I need to put you back on. I need to put you back on OBS. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Our little background thing disappeared. Maybe I can bring it back. OBS. Okay, well, you know what? Fuck it. Does not matter. I need to remove this one. I'm sure this will get better over time, but for now, I'm just a noob to meetings. You're back, Tom.
I'm back.
Luigi had
So,
questions for you. Luigi,
We were talking about drinking at work, and you were about to tell us something that happened at a training center in Tianjin.
You guys were talking about a training center in Tianjin.
You never worked at a training center?
I did very, very briefly, and it was part-time.
Yeah, it's an experience, isn't it?
Yeah, they still owe me 4,000 RMB. Still remember.
That'll happen.
is this why you don't want to spend money? Because of that?
No, not the only reason. Yeah. Okay. Talking about the classiest time to drink. Okay. There are two kinds of drinkers, I think. There are people who enjoy like a kind of connoisseurship when it comes to alcohol, and then there's the other people who drink because they just like they need to get drunk. And I think that is what we have to like clearly define when we're debating this question: is when's the right time to drink, or rather, yeah, right? So
wait,
Tom,
interesting. I wouldn't call myself an alcoholic, but I definitely think I drink to have fun.
you're
I'm not a
sure.
connoisseur.
So people drink to have fun, and that just means getting anything in you till you feel a little wonky, and you're like, ugh. I don't. I mean, I understand the feeling of being inebriated, but I've never really, for me personally, I didn't drink until I was 27. True story. I did not start drinking until I was 27. So up until that point, I understood that my peers always probably kind of thought I was, I guess, antisocial in the respect of drinking. So when I did start drinking, for me, it was a social kind of dynamic. Now, I think, now when I drink, it is because it does help me, like, relax. Because I do like the feeling of being inebriated. Some people say, people who don't like to drink don't like to lose control. So that's why they don't drink, because, that's what happens when you drink, you get drunk. And I could kind of see some logic in that, because one reason I do like to drink is because it makes me, well, lose control in as much as like I can't think very clearly, and I like that because like if my mind's racing, that's why I'll want to drink. But in that case, I'd have to be really, really, really stressed out, and I know that's not a good way to cope with whatever is happening to make me drink that way. But otherwise, when I drink, really, the reason I like to drink is because I like to. It's the novelty of the alcohol and the flavors. So it's a kind of fat-headedness. Like I like connoisseurship.
It's an art.
It is an art, yeah. So like people hate craft beers. Some people hate craft beers. I feel like here in my world, not you, but like people around us hate craft beers. But I love them. I think they're so great. I think the novelty is what makes drinking so. For me, it's what keeps me drinking. Really, it's really more. Will this new drink taste interesting? I have to know, so I have to try it. The drunkenness comes second. It's not drink to get drunk first. It's the flavor first. And so with alcohol, it's so fascinating because there's this illusion that, or there's this allure that what you are drinking could be something you've never tasted before. And so that's why I do it.
I think there's diminishing returns. So I'm a glutton.
Yeah.
I'm a hedonist.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I'm like, do I want to spend 1,000 kwai on a bottle of wine when a 200 kwai bottle will do the same thing?
Never do that. I went.
When I was a kid, I always used to walk past these wine bars. I'm like, maybe I will like that when I get older. I will start to understand it more. And I'm like, no, I just think all the people who like go in for like these super expensive alcohols are the pretentious cunts.
Oh, yeah, to be sure. When I was young,
I mean,
okay. When I was
I like
young,
craft beer. I used to make beer. I wasn't very good at it, but I used to try.
I did too.
And
in,
Why
graduate
did
school.
you stop, by the way? Why did you stop?
It's a great investment of like time and resources, and then
It's
for
really
something you
hard.
can purchase very cheaply at any supermarket.
Yes.
So it's fun for the novelty of it, but ultimately the economics just don't work out.
And you gotta wait a long time for the beer to brew. Yeah, I used to make it in graduate school.
Yeah.
And it's the cooking
Like
that was
a
just
few
like
weeks at least.
really cumbersome because if you mess it up, once I made a stout and I made a stout and I wanted to make it like Asian themed, so I got all these weird Asian herbs, and one of them was black cardamom, which I'd never used before, and I put in too much black cardamom, and it was just like bitter, syrupy stout.
I just imagine like an Indian flavor, like a beer tasting like curry if it's got
It tastes
cardamom.
like curry. It was just so bizarre. But other things I made were normal stuff, IPAs, and like we made mead once. The reason I stopped is because my friend who I made them with, he moved like 6 hours away, so it just kind of sputtered
Yeah.
out.
Like making beer, it's not like an intensive process. You do the fun stuff for like one day, and then it's like now wait a month.
I would
See
say
if
it
what
is
you-
intense. I think it is intensive because you gotta check the gravity every day. You gotta get a big, like, I don't know, I think they're called carboys. It's like a
Oh,
big
I didn't do
glass
that.
jug.
I never measured how much alcohol it actually had.
Oh, really?
I was just like, oh yeah, it's making bubbles.
I
That means
was
something's
very-
alive.
I was very what's the word? I don't know, scrutinous?
Meticulous.
Meticulous, thank you. I was very meticulous because I was always in fear that like it would sour or go bad. The easiest thing to make
Sure.
alcohol-wise for me was, believe it or not, like rice wine. You'd cook rice.
Rice wine. I
Yeah,
never tried.
I would cook rice, and then you go to the Asian supermarket and you get a yeast ball. So they sell just balls of yeast, and then you smash it up, and then you put it in with the rice you just cooked, and you put it in a container, and you just put it in the fridge and forget about it. And it separates, and then that's it, and you've got booze, and it's a little carbonated.
That feels like it's too easy.
It's really easy. Yeah. That's what I did.
Tom's like, but should I be making rice wine today?
Anyway, I drink first for the taste. Gotta taste good. Otherwise, I would just take shots of really hard liquor if I wanted to get smashed.
Exactly. It's easy to get drunk if you want to get drunk. But I
Yeah.
drink for enjoyment and appreciation. One of the best drinks
Yes.
I've ever had, or the best drinking periods of my life, was I was living in Chiang Mai, Thailand. And I had this friend whose dad was a British guy who brewed his own mead. Amber ale.
Oh, meat's lovely.
Yeah. And we would go to his place, just take a bunch of meat and barbecue, and then they had a lake with kayaks. We would go onto he had this huge fucking golden retriever called Charlie. I'm sure you've seen the photo actually of me and Charlie together on a pickup truck. Anyway, I remember going there, finishing almost half a barrel of this beer that his dad brewed while we were barbecuing and kayaking all day, and we lost, I think, 2 of their like expensive British mead pint
Oh man.
glasses
Mm.
inside the little lake.
Tom, how did you make beer? I'm curious. Do you remember? Did you make it in China?
Yeah. So I started making it at university.
Yeah.
Where there was like a society at our university for making beer, and that
Okay.
taught me the basics. And then I continued to try in China and do it in my tiny apartment.
That's what like it can't be done. I'm thinking of how would I make it here?
And I like you could buy everything you need on Taobao.
Yes.
It's just trying to find it because I don't know the Chinese terms. So it's just like trying to translate all the like equipment I needed into Chinese and then put that into Taobao, but it would not give you like an accurate translation.
Right. Okay.
So it was quite difficult to like find everything, but eventually I got it. And I have like about 20-liter setup, but I'm probably gonna try and sell it all because I haven't used it for many years.
Yeah.
Many years. I remember the last time I saw photos of you was maybe when I just moved to Suzhou. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I need to make a stand.
I'd like to brew beer. I'd like to do all the things I love to do. I'd love to raise bees. I'd love to brew beer. It's so fun. When
I think it's possible. All of it is possible. You just have to find the right place.
Yeah, I know. Well,
That would be a good vacation.
If I put a beehive on the roof of my apartment, say anything?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know what the laws are for bees. Last week when I went to the island, and I bought honey from this old farming couple. In their house, they had beehives.
What?
They kept the beehives in their house. It was
That's
funny.
crazy. I think if you move, I have one friend. Do you
I
remember
used to keep a barbecue.
You go.
Huh?
Do you remember Jesse from Indie?
I used to keep a barbecue on the. Huh?
Tom, you go first. You speak. I'll wait.
I used to keep a barbecue on the roof of my apartment building,
Yeah.
and nobody noticed for a very, very long time, and it was fine.
Oh, all right. There you go.
That's all I had.
I don't think anyone, honestly, if I put a beehive on the top of this building, I don't think anyone would say anything.
Yeah, no, probably no one would notice for a while, unless people hang their laundry up there.
Oh, they do. They do. It gets tight.
Oh well, then yeah, maybe
But people are growing
maybe they'll
vegetables.
notice.
You know, in some places people have chickens. The usual MOs.
I feel like chickens are a bigger health risk than bees.
I
Bee
guess
poop a
so.
lot.
I don't know
I mean,
what the
bee
difference-
poop is delicious. You could eat it. Chicken poop stinks and carries disease.
That's true. It is a very good fertilizer, though. I have to say. I can say.
Great.
I think that if you go to if you move to, you remember Jesse who ran Indie Bar with Rain, Tom?
Vaguely, yes.
They may have been like a bit more.
Yeah, I don't really go to indie so much. Was that the one on Wage and New?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it. Like, yeah, a little bit.
Tiny.
They used to use the outdoor gas burners to heat indoors, and then every night we would just get massive carbon monoxide poisoning and wake up with massive headaches.
No, not that bar. Not that bar.
That's
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Okay, I don't know then.
Irrelevant, I guess. The point is they moved to a really rural province in this tiny little town, and they opened their own like bed and breakfast thing there.
Yeah.
And I think if you do that, you could probably have a beehive.
Oh, no doubt. If I had the space. Every school I've worked at, I always try and. Actually, not at my current school, but before that, I'd always try and be like, oh, can I raise bees? Oh, can I have a beekeepers club? To no avail. Well, people are as afraid of bees here as they are anywhere else in the world. Not educated about bees.
Our school gets lots of wild animals like snakes and hornets. And anytime we see a hornet hive, they bring out a guy with a flamethrower to destroy it, which is really cool.
Yeah, they definitely wouldn't want
But we have
bees there then, because they'd attract the hornets.
we have like has outdoor playtime where just a swarm of bees will come out of nowhere and attack the playground. We're like, everyone run! Go, 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 go! That's great.
I hope you mean hornets. Bees would never do that.
I mean, I don't get close enough to check. They could be hornets or wasps or bees, but
It's not bees.
sometimes we just attack.
It's not
Sometimes
bees.
we.
I want the internet to know it's not bees he's describing. Bees do not do that.
Sometimes
Okay.
we get snakes, which is even better.
I don't think we're talking about alcohol anymore. I think
Yeah.
we should stop here. There is one thing that I want to do. I want to stop the recording on OBS. You don't need to put down the phone or do anything, but there's a major lag.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna stop this.
Okay.
We're back. Luigi,
Is it my turn?
it's your turn.
Okay, I don't know how to pose this as a question, but I was watching something. Let me set the scene. There's a very famous, a popular show in Canada. I think it's called The Social, and it's like the American TV show The View. Do you remember that show? Does anyone know that show? Essentially, there's a panel of women, all famous in some respect, and it's a talk show host in the morning, and they talk about stuff. So there's an equivalent in Canada. It's called The Social. Not particularly a fan, because I think it's full of a lot of misinformation. And I actually saw on the internet here, on some social media, I don't know where, whether it was posted in a group or on WeChat channels, but it was a clip from The Social, and they were talking about AI. And this expert was on, and she was trying to solve the problem of students using AI to write essays. And she said, we need to essentially, use AI to kind of extend the challenge of writing essays for students by saying, okay, go home and write the essay with AI. And then come back to school the next day and then critique the writing of AI. But I think that's really redundant. So my question, I guess, is can AI, like, how do we use AI in school to help students?
It's a big discussion that we have.
Yeah.
I think it's important to remember that we've had like pocket calculators for decades
I think
that
they
has not
mentioned that.
destroyed mathematics.
No, it didn't. No, but it just have, okay, a pocket calculator helps you think faster. I'll give you that much,
Mhm.
you know. But for an essay, it totally takes all of the work out of it for a student. They just write it, and the student will go, here it is, it's a bunch of words. And the pocket calculator, Tom, maybe you make a good point, because in math, the way I learned it, you know, I know I'm old, but I'm not that old because the calculator existed. We always have to show the work when we do an equation
Yes.
or when we show an answer for math. We have to do the work to show how we got to that answer. In an essay, you can't really do that.
I have an answer to this question.
Okay. I knew you would.
The way that I use AI, I probably use AI more than any other teacher in our school.
Yeah, I would agree.
And what I recently did is our unit is how we organize ourselves. And it's about resource handling and where things come from. So like the supply chain, basically. And what I chose for my students, one is we're doing a stock market simulation, which I sent you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been polished now and it's working well. And then the other part is I had them watch a video on how Lego is made and where it comes from and the history of Lego, because they all have an interest in Lego. Then I had AI take that video and disseminate it and create like little group info sheets, and I had it do some things that aren't real. I had it change the stats and stuff. I gave it to my students and I told them that I used AI to make this information, and their job is to write a paragraph about where Lego comes from, how they think it works, and then their homework is to go home and fact check everything that they did.
Okay.
And then come back and rewrite the paragraph in a way that is true. And then identify where AI was wrong and where they were.
So I think Ruby did what
That's a really good idea.
the lady on the TV show suggested.
You're very creative.
Thank you.
So wait, let me. Okay, I have to understand this. So they wrote a paragraph by themselves in class.
They watched the video, I gave them information, they paraphrased the information and organized it in a sequential fashion to create a paragraph.
By themselves.
By themselves.
No AI.
No AI.
Right. And
But
then they took that
the
home.
information was generated by AI.
That's okay, because it's just an example they use to help them.
And
get
as
the
far as
skills.
English skills go, nothing has changed.
Right.
It's the same skills.
So in that respect, us using the AI, I think, is not the problem.
Yeah.
Because we know how to use it responsibly, and the kids don't have the skills we want them to have. And the issue is they just go home, they get AI to generate it, and then.
But now the transferable skill is if they go home and they get AI to generate it, they have an example of when AI was wrong and they know how to fact check.
They know how to fact check, but even so, I think
We can't make them run the mile. They're never gonna have to run the mile.
Yeah, and that's the issue. So the way to get my personal, what I would want is to say, okay, tomorrow you're going to write your essay in class, and then your homework is to do the research for the points you want to use, something like that, and get the sources. And they'll have to come into class and write the material in class.
For me as a student, that would have never worked because my points form as I do the research.
Right. Well, I know, but what can you do now? Because they're just going to go home and they're just going to use AI. That's what I think.
Yeah. The reason why we have to write so many essays is to form and present your ideas and arguments.
Yeah.
You need to have something interesting to write about that you come up with. And if the kids can't come up with ideas and interesting thoughts by themselves, there's really no point to it.
Yeah.
So you just have to think about how else can you assess children to find out they have interesting ideas about works and can form arguments and present them.
I just think
So
they just need that practice of writing or creating something, with their minds. Like like what are tons of things we do? It's kind of like, maybe this is a bad analogy, but like we drive a car and it's a tool we use to get places. But when the car breaks down, we don't know how to fix it. So
Yeah.
we don't have those skills, but we're using the thing to get the results. And it's kind of how students use AI. They get the results. And, when disaster comes, oh well, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Are there resources to help them with that? They're not self-sufficient.
It's why I really like teaching early years, is because I don't need to worry about
That's
this.
true. Tom doesn't
This is someone else's problem. Like my 5-year-olds are not using their iPads for AI. They're trying to like sneak onto Pokey or like coolmathsgames.com or something.
Something to consider for you is how much screen time do your students have outside of school?
Oh, I've got kids who are like massively addicted to their iPads or Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
And I try and communicate to the parents constantly about this. Like, they can get addicted, they are already addicted, and it will have harmful effects on them for the rest of their lives. And the longer you leave it, the worse it will get. But lots of parents nowadays don't really believe that, or they don't have the time, or they're like, oh, well, it's educational, so therefore it's okay. When really, I think all screen time is kind of like bad screen time.
I think so too.
Why do you think screen time is bad?
He said all screen time. Well, because it's what the kids are looking at. Really, it's not really educational.
Okay, so
I would agree.
as long as you're not saying, in my opinion, as long as you're not saying the fact that you're looking at a screen is bad for you because it's damaging your eyes.
No.
Okay.
No,
Kids on the screen.
it's not about your eyes, it's about your brain.
That's the issue.
Like that's just something that I have a problem. Is that
That's me.
Or,
No.
okay.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, never mind. I've completely lost my train of thought.
Kids, screen time.
I can talk if you want.
Kids, screen time's not bad.
It's okay.
It's just a game. Kids are just playing.
No, this is the thing I have a problem with. The games that we used to play when we were growing up
Yeah.
are different to the games that kids are playing now.
Yeah.
Because the games that we were playing were but I might also be wrong, because I don't think Pokemon falls under this category necessarily. The games that we were playing taught you indirectly resource management, mathematics, English, like a whole bunch of things, vocabulary that you weren't familiar with. I think that still happens here today, but
Yeah.
it doesn't happen in the target language that you often want to, because often parents are complaining, oh, my kid's not learning English, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of the games are just like dopamine based instead of skill based.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, I don't really see. When I was young, I didn't really. I don't know. I don't know what the benefits were when I played video games as a kid. I played them a lot, so I think they actually did instill in me a love of reading, because the games I played were role-playing games for the most part. Like a lot of role-playing games, you always had to read. And depending on the creators, those games did base a lot of their ideas on like greater mythology. So that's how I had that like kind of trivial knowledge of things, like Greek mythology, whatever, what have you. So in that respect, I learned things that way from those games. But today with kids, it's just like touch, coins, ding, 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 ding.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean.
So when I was doing my teaching certification, I wrote my thesis about screen addiction in early years.
Yeah.
And when I tried to go out and find research that other people had done and find sources, it's all about like teenage boys who get addicted to Call of Duty, and then the mental effects that has, such as like, anger, stress, not being able to hold a real relationship anymore, and then all the negative effects that disseminate from this.
Yeah.
No one really has looked into the effects on really little kids. but actually it could be more profound because their brains are incredibly plastic.
Yes.
And they will adapt to their environment much more. So when I have kids who are like 5 years old and already addicted to like Pikmin or Luigi's Mansion, and then like I tell them to like do art in class or like we do a project, and they're like, oh, I can't do this. I only want iPad, or I only want like my Switch or Nintendo or whatever. Then it starts to become really, really difficult. And especially after the pandemic, where we normalized a lot of screen time and online education because we kind of had to at the time, the kids really do have like much more profound symptoms of stress, anxiety, not being able to focus on a task for a long time. And this is like, we want to break that habit. We want to get kids to try and read a book instead of reading on Epic, which is really, really challenging. You're like, read a book. They're like, oh no. Oh, read on Epic. They're like, oh yeah, I can do that. And why should that be the case?
I assume it's
Do you not have Epic at your school?
No, we don't. But it's a reading
Epic is
program on
like an
computer.
online reading a platform for kids, and it has like 10,000 books, but it's just like on your iPad.
Okay,
So kids would be happy to read on their iPads, but not read in real life.
It's weird, eh? There's this weird fetishization of technology. If it's technical, if it's technology, it's somehow fun.
is it gamified as
And
well?
like,
No, I don't think it is.
yeah, they get points and they could get badges for reading books.
Oh, really?
So like every time they read a book, their level goes up.
I don't even think the reading then.
How do we know that they finished reading the book?
Yeah, seriously.
It doesn't. You could just like skip through the pages, and then it'll still give you
Oh,
points.
man.
They're junkies!
It's
Yeah,
dopamine.
they are.
So yeah.
Do you know Marks and Spencer?
Yeah? Is it it's like a,
Yeah, it's like a British supermarket.
yeah, I was gonna say grocery store brand. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and you can't get it in China. Like the closest place is Hong Kong. They had one in Malaysia, and I went there and I bought like all the really expensive British candies and chocolates. And then like in one of my hotels, which was like a jungle hut, like a fucking rat broke in and started eating my expensive British chocolate. And I was like, you fucking asshole. Like there was like fresh fruit out in a bowl. I was like, I don't want the fresh fruit. I'm gonna steal your fucking international candy, you know?
They can smell the high calories and the sugar. That's what they want. They don't know when they're gonna eat
Yeah.
this. The candy was expensive. Wait, it was Malaysia, you said?
Yeah. But like you go to Marks and Spencer, it's all imported from the UK.
It's still a lot of money there.
It's pretty
I always imagine just like imports in China are just stupidly expensive. I never imagine they're expensive anywhere else. I always imagine they're reasonable.
Well, it's just because it's like Marks and Spencer's, which is sort of like a posh, high class like supermarket, so it's already kind of expensive.
So it's like
Anyway,
it's what's it like?
that rat destroys like about like 70 kwai's worth of cookies.
That sucks.
I was pissed off with it.
Who doesn't want cookies?
Are you a rat? Yeah, I know. But it's like anytime I go past an M&S, I need to get some stuff because you just can't get it in China. So
Yeah,
I have to gorge myself.
reasonable.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah, I know. He's bought me hot chocolate from.
Oh yeah.
Still remember.
Oh yeah. Anyway, little kids are all addicted to their iPads. It's really bad, and modern teaching practices are like glorifying like the use of AI. Because I think teachers realize AI is here to stay. So all the recent teacher trainings, like, how do you use AI? How can your students use more AI in the classroom safely? And I think screen addiction will get worse.
Yeah, I would just say do away with homework if it has to. If AI is an issue.
Here's what I think that I've said it before. All after school activities should just be completely nullified. They shouldn't exist
Yeah.
unless the child expresses extreme interest in doing something.
Like sport clubs and
Like
stuff.
sports clubs are fine, but like after school English lessons, after school any lessons in some kind
Yeah,
of
we don't do
subject
that.
should just be illegal.
No, I think lessons are fine. I think it's just don't give homework because they're just gonna blow
And
up
homework
anyway
shouldn't
using
exist.
AI.
Yeah.
Unless you're gonna have parents that are going to
But
put
homework
their
has
kids
never
through
been
this.
useful. Never.
I mean, that's the argument. I don't know. I don't know the data. I mean, I did homework. I don't know if it helped me. I just had to do homework because I was
On a scale of how much it helps, homework is negligible.
okay. Well, then there you go. That's the answer. Then why do schools still push for homework?
Because it's a societally instilled idea of something
Expectation.
different.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like China made it the law that you cannot give 5-year-olds written homework anymore. So legally, I can't give homework.
That's
But
great.
parents still ask me, like every single parent teacher meeting, they're like, "Oh, can you give more homework?" I'm like, "No, legally I can't. No."
That's great.
That's the way it should
Like they want their kids to suffer. Same thing with training centers.
We're finishing up AI.
I think it's we all have pretty differing opinions.
I think our opinions are similar. I don't think that screen time in and of itself is necessarily a problem. I think the applications that are being used are the problem.
Well, now, yeah. Well, okay. Now we're talking about screen time though, not AI. The use of AI.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. And then for AI, I think there is a solution.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
I guess what I'm trying to argue is that we should not essentially secede to AI and try and find, better solutions that accept the kind of like sinister use of AI. So, for example, have the kids go home and use AI to write an essay and then come to class and have the kids critique that essay. Well, what's the point of that? Hey, how about we just have them write the essay in class?
Yeah. It should be that scenario should be swapped around.
Yeah, like don't give your students a homework that has them rely on AI. Yes, you can use AI to do everything, but don't give them something that's so overwhelming they have to go to AI. That's just all there is to it. That's it.
Like rather than homework, give them like study hall hours. Like so that like after school classes, be like there's a study hall where you can use for school computers that have like AI applications blocked.
Yeah, see that's
So you can do like research and time to write your essays, which is more difficult to organize, but would solve the problem.
It really
maybe.
depends. Yeah, it depends on the space, depends on the school.
Yeah,
Depends
like
on the
poor schools can't do that.
socioeconomic status of the students. I mean, there might be a benefit, the kids who can't afford, the irony might be that kids who can't afford, let's say computers,
True.
can't use AI, and then they have to think by themselves, and they might surpass those more privileged kids who can say. But I just,
Yeah.
I have to say, I hate this kowtowing to AI. I think it's just absurd.
Yeah, like lots of people keep on coming up with like ideas on how to incorporate it, but not all of them are very good.
No.
Like very few of them are like good, and like none of them strike at the issue of like, can you get a kid to write a 1,000-word essay anymore? Could you get them to write 5 sides of A4
Right.
just with their own pure thoughts?
No
and
way.
no.
Like imagine if I
No.
want to get okay, maybe we can make this analogy. Maybe I can make several silly analogies. You want to get muscles, but you don't want to put in the work. So you don't do the weightlifting. What does? The steroids? Maybe.
Yeah, I agree.
It's kind of the same thing.
I get what you're saying.
I'll get that guy to lift weights for me. Like, how do you do it, You pay the doctor to put the oil in you're like those guys in South America who have inject
Synth
oils in their
oil.
bodies.
Synthol?
Is that what it is?
Synth oil.
It's like that. Yeah, so like there you go. Same thing. I declare it's the same thing. Anyway, yeah.
What do you think, Tom?
I agree. We should like nuke AI from orbit.
No. Don't go that far. We need it.
Why
It's
not?
helpful.
Apparently that was not an agreement.
Okay, I know. And now I feel like I'm a big hypocrite.
Like,
It's really
we
useful.
get out the nukes and suddenly everyone gets scared. But come on, like the copywriters need their jobs back. The digital
yeah.
artists, they
You're
want their
right.
jobs
Oh,
back.
That's right. There's
AI will come for us soon.
Yeah.
Like they will try to replace teachers with AI. It'll suck, but it'll be good enough for them to like accept it. AI doesn't need to be good. It just needs to be like good enough to justify replacing a human.
Yeah, fair. like you can use AI to make, let's say, like assessments, tests, but you also have to scrutinize the answers the AI gives you because it really doesn't know. AI reaches into the corpus of the internet and just it's not sentient. It just looks for things
Yeah.
and
Makes paper comparisons.
that's right, and just like
and
like
draws conclusions.
makes a bricolage and says, "Here you go," but it doesn't really think. I think so, but I don't think a lot of people know that really. They don't really try or they don't pay attention.
But that's why the way that you use AI, the way that you articulate your questions,
yeah,
and the way that you set forth your expectation is so important.
Even when you think you do it well, though, AI still kind of messes up.
Yeah.
And I always find myself shouting at AI, being like, "How do you not understand me?" Which is really silly because I should know better anyway.
So what I've been doing lately is I'm using AI for multiple aspects of my daily life right now.
Okay.
I'm paying for ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I
use it a
have
lot.
7 different projects that are standard and daily chats. So those are, and you can have more projects. But the thing is, because of this, I've been doing this for about 3 months. AI ChatGPT has a good idea of who I am.
Right, because okay, yeah.
Because of like all of these different aspects. And when I want something for myself, I wouldn't recommend ever using this to give to someone. Like to say, write me this and it purely to give to someone. Like if you do that, it would be a draft and then you read through it and then you change it, right? But a lot of the procedural stuff that you do, I can tell AI, hey, write me a bio specifically for this website based on your memory of me. And then the thing that it gives me is I'm like, yeah, sure.
You curate.
And then I change 1 or 2 things.
Yeah.
And then it's on point.
Yeah.
Because it's using a corpus not of the internet, it's using a corpus of my feedback.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah. I mean, there's
I mean, I'm not saying it's like not useful. I'm just saying that once people start to rely on it too much, it's going to become a problem.
Agreed. Yeah. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, there's a myriad of things we can discuss revolving around AI and its issues.
It will come up again.
But we gotta, but today the topic is students and homework in AI.
Like back in the...
I think there's
back in the
The answer is
1800s.
no. I think. No, the answer is no.
Back in the 1800s.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wait. I'm going to interrupt you, Tom. Here's what I think AI should be used for children. Okay, here's your homework task, kids. You come to class, guess what? I'm not teaching you squat. Your homework today is ask AI to teach you how to do whatever. Teach you how to do algebra. And then tomorrow I'm going to test you. Wouldn't that be an interesting thing to do?
I think that is cool. That's really cool.
I'm going to try that with my students. I'm going to see if that works. That'd be great. That's the only good thing I think you could do with AI. Get it to do your job for you. Let's see how badly it does it.
Don't worry, Tom. They're not going to come for us. We're going to come for ourselves, apparently.
Yeah, and don't worry about you, Tom, because you teach, little babies.
Please don't come for me.
Luigi's making himself obsolete.
Okay. Ask AI. Go ask AI how to write an essay and then write an essay.
It's giving planned obsolescence a whole new meaning.
Yeah, it's true. That is actually a really good. I think I will try that, though.
Yeah,
just in one class, see the results I get. Go, try and see how it teaches you, and then the next class I'm going to say, okay, do it. See how well
actually, that's a classified teacher role. You're becoming the facilitator.
Yeah.
And the monitor. Yeah.
There you go. We cracked it. Case closed.
Change the role of teachers from the previous. How many roles are there? 5 to only 2.
Who can say? Don't ask me. I just work here.
Anyway, I think the answer, to conclude this, there's no right answer yet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There is a really, really interesting video on YouTube by a famous guy called CGP Grey. Have you seen CGP Grey before?
Ruby has.
It was about 10 years ago now. He made a video about robots.
Okay.
And it is a 30-minute long video. It's really interesting. It basically says robots already came for manual labor jobs.
Yes.
But people did not get more wealthy. Or
it's the horse thing, right? There are still horses working, just a lot fewer.
Like cars did not make life better for horses,
Isn't like
Um,
the word robot? I'm gonna check on my phone. Like a Czech word for slave or something.
it is, yes.
Something sinister
Yeah.
like that.
And now robots will come for white collar jobs or intellectual jobs, and then what will be left? Like, what will the economy look like when everyone is just doing things with robots?
But I think
And there's
The singularity.
the takeaway from that video is that we need to rethink the way that our economy works. Instead of, because we're not going to be able to, horses weren't able to stop cars, and we're not going to be able to stop AI. It is coming.
Yeah.
So we need to figure out how to deal with it before it kills us.
But the millionaires and billionaires who own the AI don't have the same problems as us.
Yeah.
So,
How so? Clarify that.
they do not need to worry about rent.
Yes, but
fair
they
enough.
do need to worry about who can buy their products so they can stay millionaires. So I do think like
Sure.
there's a Elon Musk is not rich in a vacuum. That's my point.
I think my conspiracy theory is Elon Musk really has no money, and as soon as America's tired of him, he'll be a poor man in the street.
As soon as Twitter fails and banks come a calling, he's in deep shit.
Yeah.
Well, he's probably not very happy about what's been happening this week.
You mean getting pwned
in terms of international trade? All the sucking up he's been doing to Chinese government for the last few years to try and sell his cars here, and now this has happened.
So are they not? Is Tesla doing bad in China now? I hear it's doing bad in America and places like Canada, but it's still doing all right here.
I'm not sure.
Nobody has
I mean, in China, they need to compete with all the other electric car brands.
Yeah, and they're doing well.
The thing was like they were luxury importers brands for like rich people, but they're now going to get like over twice as expensive.
Yeah,
they're really not doing well here.
You mean Tesla's not?
Yeah,
I know that. I mean the Chinese e-cars are doing well.
The Chinese e-cars are doing well.
Like BYD thing.
Like Tesla's, I think this is still Tesla's biggest market.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
How do the locals feel after they bought all those Teslas, though? They must feel real.
Oh, man, if you look at our school, there are so many new Model Ys, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Inundated the streets when the people come to pick up.
The new Model Y looks like the car that the SS wanted to drive. Hi there. We're gonna close off the episode there. I really hope that you enjoyed this diverse range of topics, and if you like this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment down in the comment section, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Love ya.